Hello everybody, welcome. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use the structure block. It's an amazing tool for building that works in vanilla Minecraft. So the first thing I'm going to want to show you is how to use the /give command to give yourself a structure block because it's not in the creative inventory. So what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to do /give your name. I'm going to do the puffin because that's mine. And you're going to have to give yourself a structure. I need to learn how to spell structure block. Once it starts showing up, you can just hit tab and it'll finish it off for you. Hit enter and boom, you have a structure block. The next thing you're going to want to know though is that this is actually 4 blocks: data, save, load, and corner. And you switch through them by clicking here, but it's also just multiple blocks. So if I go over to corner and hit control pick block, which for me is middle mouse button, it'll give me a corner block. So the first type of structure block you're going to want to learn how to use is the save structure block. In order to do this, you're going to place down the structure block. It's going to start on data. We don't use data, so we're just going to skip over that. And you click on it until it says save. This is going to be pretty confusing, but we're just going to start from the top. Go up here. The name that you choose can be anything, but you have to make sure that you remember it. I'm going to call this a test because it's not really anything. We're just saving that over there. I'm going to hit done. So this is what we're saving, and I need to figure out how big this is. This is 1, 2, 3 by 1, 2, 3, and that's how big the cube is that we're going to highlight to get this. So over here, relative position and their structure size. So from the size that we looked at over here, you're going to type in that size. So it's 3 by 3 by 3. That is going to be the X, Y, and Z. And in order to know which way is what, there is the you're going to want to look over here. That shows the coordinates. This is X, this is Y, and this is Z. So when you move this way, you'll see that moving this way is going to be on the X position because this one's moving. Moving up and down is Y. Then because this is X, that means moving this way will be Z. But since this is just a cube, you can just put in 3 for everything. Oh, I didn't hit done. You have to remember, hit done or else it's not going to save. That's something I always forget to do. So hit done. It's going to show you a preview. So now the next box that we're going to use, these. This is going to show the relative position and it's going to be relative to the structure block. And what we want to do is we want to move this box so that it fits with this. So now over here, we need to count how far it goes. So this is going to be on the Z axis. So we need to move 1, 2, 3 to get this line to match up over here. So -3, no, that's +3 on the Z axis. So 3, hit done, and it's going to have moved over here. Then we need to move it a bit this way to get it lined up. You're going to want to count over here. It's going to be -3 on the x-axis. So over here, x, -3. Now this is 1 up. It's going to start with a relative position of +1, but most of the time I just set that down to 0 because I like to have everything on the 1 level. So now it's perfectly encased in the highlight. But in order to actually save it, just make sure you remember this name and go down and hit save. So the next type of structure block you're going to want to learn is the load structure block. So what you're going to do, place it down again, go over skip data, skip save, go over to load. Then you're going to type in the name of the structure that you want. So since I chose test over here, I'm going to type in test over here. So what you do is you're going to ignore all of this for now, and you're just going to click load. Clicking it once won't do anything, and it's going to show you your nice fancy preview again. So we're going to F3, look over here. You're going to want to go up on the x-axis so it doesn't copy over anything you don't want. So no, that's the z-axis. So I'm going to go up 4. I want it kind of far away, and that's a good position. I just want to move it down now. So now, because we have this highlight area, what you can do, look over here, it's going to look like this, but it's going to move over here. So just, nope. So you're going to want to go in, hit load again, and it's going to pop up. So some more things that you might want to know is I'm just going to move this over that way 3. That's kind of close, but you can see what's happening. So now for these buttons, what this does, it's going to rotate the build. So if I hit 90, it's going to rotate it 90 degrees. So this line is going to have moved and the colors are going to have changed. So I'm going to click that 90 and hit load again. That did move the structure and it copied over that. That's something you want to be careful of. You want to make sure that the outline isn't anywhere that you care about much. But what you can see though is this blue line that should be right here is actually over here because we rotated it 90 degrees that way. The next thing is this. This is gonna mirror it. So instead of like actually rotating, it's just gonna mirror. So this, well, it's still the same structure. So what's gonna be here will be on this side now. So you click that, and it's moved over. It's gonna eliminate this. So I'm just gonna get rid of that by hand. And you're gonna hit load. And you see it's mirrored it this way. And then so on. There's 180 degrees, which is just gonna do a full 180 turn, well, half turn. 270, which is a half turn plus 90. And there is no 360 because then you might as well just choose 0. That's the original state. I'm gonna hit load. So then there's this button. This just shows the bounding box. So let's say you want it to. Oh, I need to hit done, of course. So if you want to like use this in a build and you don't really want these lines here showing that you're actually using a structure block, you can turn that on and off. But I like to keep them on at least while I'm working with them because it helps me to show where the actual area that's selected is. The next thing I'm going to show you is back inside of the save structure block. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this. This is the include entities button. And what this does is, let's say I have an armor stand in here and hit save again. So when I come over to this structure block, go over to load, test, and set the coordinates again over to 5 and load. Hit it again. It's not going to include the armor stand because the armor stand is an entity. You can see if it's an entity if it has this hitbox when you hit F3 and B on your keyboard. So I can just get rid of, no, I'm going to keep that there. So let's say you want to copy this entity over with the structure. What you do is you're going to want to hit this button so that it says on, and then hit save, and it's going to include this armor stand inside of the structure. So then what you would expect to happen, you come over here, hit load, nothing happens. The armor stand is not there. What you want to make sure you do is over here on the load, there is also another include entities button. So you want to make sure that one's on also. When you hit load, now the armor stand is there. So the next kind of structure block I want to show you is the cornerstone of this whole thing. It's the corner structure block. So the way you get to it, place down your block, go over to corner just like normal. And in order to use it, what you want to do is I'm going to go up here and I am going to make sure it is all laid out. I don't want to cut off any of the leaves. Now I'm going to do / set block structure block. You don't have to do this, you can always just build up, but I have a video showing how to do the set block command that I'll put in the corner right now. So in order to do this, you want to go over corner. I'm going to call it tire. And you're going to hit done. This is going to be one corner of the build. So this is where the outline is going to be. Then you come down to the other corner, and you're going to, once again, make sure you don't cut off anything, and you're going to set this into the ground. Then instead of going to corner, this time you want to go, you're going to want to go to save and pick the same name. But you're going to hit done, and nothing's going to really happen because it doesn't know to detect the size using that corner. It's going to think, it's still thinking that you want to use these. In order to do that, you just hit detect, and it should pick out this. It's going to go from the inner corner of each thing, so don't think it's going to be like including the structure block. The structure blocks will stay on the outside. That's why I have it inset here. And just make sure, double check it's all in there. That is cutting it a bit close right there. And then you can come over, hit save. Now in order to actually use this practically, it could be a bit slow to go around. It's useful for larger things, but if you want to do like many things like this, let's say you want more trees. I'm going to add a tree over here. I want a redstone block. I'm going to want to come over to load again. I'm going to type in tre load and make sure it's in the right position. I'm going to want to get it lined up. So I have it all lined up now. This is where the tree is going to be. But in order to actually use this practically, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hit Control and the middle mouse button to pick a block. What this is going to do is going to give you this block exactly with all the NBT in it. What the NBT is basically just all the information in here. You don't really need to know exactly what NBT is. All you have to know is that now when you place a redstone block next to it, the tree's going to show up. You can do this with any item that you do in place with this. Now just get rid of these, get rid of the outlines, and you have a few trees that you can scatter around. The next thing I want to show you about structure blocks is that you can actually animate your builds with them. So let's say you have a entrance to a castle similar to this, and you want this gate to be able to move up and down. What you can actually do is use structure blocks to do this. You are going to need a little bit of redstone though. So I'm going to need a repeater and a few structure blocks. And the way it's going to work is you're going to want to have a structure for each set of for each like frame, I'm going to call it, if you're used to animating. But you're going to have a structure for each phase and how the gate is going to open. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to have one with it fully closed and have a opening animation. So I have the structure outline all set in place. So it's highlighting the structure of the closed gate. So inside this command block, I have it set to gate 1. I'm going to number them just to keep them in track. I like to do that. So gate 1, I'm going to hit save. And then since it's saved, I can mess with this whatever I want. And as long as I don't override that saved, it'll be remembered. So this will be the next frame to show that it's going to, this is what's going to be shown at the end. So it's going to go up and then here and here. So this is the next frame. I'm going to call this gate 2. That's 12, gate 2. And save. And this is gate 2. And now for gate 3, this will be gate 3. Done, save. Then the final one, gate 4. This will be the fully open gate. So gate 4, done, save, and there we go. And now in order to set this up, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have a structure block like that and 4 blocks. Then some sort of way to power redstone. So I'm going to get a lever, put it on this block. You're going to want repeaters going this way. And then attached to each block, you're going to want a structure block like this. Since there's 4 structures for each frame, you're going to want 4 structure blocks. Since I want a bit of delay in between each one to add some time for the opening, I'm going to set all of these repeaters to 4 ticks. And this should work well. If you want a repeating animation, what you can actually do is loop this around and go all the way back to make a redstone clock. But since this is just an opening gate, I'm going to keep it at this. I'm going to get rid of this because I don't really want the outline there, and it's kind of getting in the way. I'm going to completely close this. You can have a closing animation also, but I'm not going to do that since I don't have the time right now. So now what you want to do is you want to set each of these blocks to have their structure be loaded right here. So I'm going to quickly do that. During this little time lapse, I want to tell you guys that you can actually use the clone command to make animations like these. But in my opinion, the structure blocks are better for this, because with the clone command you have to have the frames for each bit of the animation in the world built, and they have to be in the player's render distance. So if the player, let's say, has a shorter render distance than you expect, then the structures might not be loaded. So in my opinion, it is much easier to just use the structure blocks for animations like these, but just know that you can use both in case you decide that you don't like these. So okay, now what I have is all 4 structure blocks set up and aligned. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you don't have all the bounding boxes off, because if they're on, then you're gonna visually see the outline here, and you don't really want that. And also when you're building, you'd probably want to hide this either underground or in a wall, because I mean, let's be honest, these structure blocks don't look the greatest. And typically, it's kind of a hidden rule, well, unspoken rule, that you usually hide your redstone. But in order to do that, I'm just gonna get it going. Oh, I need to set the structure off. There we go. So I'm gonna flick this lever, and it's gonna do the animation. There we go. And a quick way that you can do to just reset it, you can use the fill command. That's in the same video as the set block one. So I'm gonna fill from here to here. Spruce fence. And there we go. That's a quick way to just close it that I'm gonna use. You can just you can have another set of structure blocks just going backwards to get it to close again, because it'll end with this, the closed one. But then you can just play around with this, have a pretty opening door. So you might be wondering, where are you? Oh no, you're in a different place now. I'm going to show you how to move builds between different worlds. So this is my testing world. This is where I figure out what works. And I have this house that I kind of want to use, let's say, as a thumbnail or just in a video. I'm going to move this to a different world. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come over, save it as normal, and then I'm actually going to leave Minecraft because this is in the world files right now. So I'll see you outside of Minecraft. So now that we're out of Minecraft, you want to get to your roaming folder. You can get it through this path, or you can go down into the search bar if you're on Windows and type the %, app data %. That'll be on screen right now, probably over here. Yeah. So once you're here, you want to go into Minecraft, and all of these are going to come up here. Then you're going to come over to saves. This is your worlds folder. It shows all the worlds you have. My structure is inside of my creative world, so I'm going to come in here, and then you're going to want to find your generated folder. So come in here, Minecraft, structures, and here's all the structures I have in this world. The one that I want is cottage house. So I'm going to come over here, copy this, and go back into saves. So the world that I'm trying to take the cottage house into is the world called YouTube Studio. So I come in here, back into generated. When you're coming over here though, if you haven't made a structure in the world yet, this generated folder won't be there. So if you have that issue, just go in and make a structure of like some air or some grass or something. Just make some random structure, and then this folder should be here. So go in there, Minecraft, structures, and I'm just gonna paste. So paste, and cottagehouse.nbt is there. So see you back in Minecraft. It'll be in there. So now that we're back in Minecraft, all you have to do is just load it in as normal. So I'm going to load cottage house because that's what I named it. I'm going to click load. It's going to show me the preview. I don't want to copy over the structure block, but I am comfortable with copying over the tree. Just remember there is no undo, so make sure you're always aware of that. I'm going to move this down 1 and up 3. And that moves over here. I'll copy over the tree, and there we go. This house is here. If I wanted it facing me, I could have used the rotate and stuff, but here is the house that I've moved from my test world. Anyways, if you have any questions or just want to say hi, please say so in the comments below. But that's all the time I have for today. See ya.